All right, and we are live with another weekly edition of TNA Impact Reviews on this September 3rd, 2014, on a Wednesday night. I'm your host, Tony, with my co-host, as always, the Bizarre One, Dave. How you doing tonight, Dave?
I'm great. Don't forget to sub to this channel. Please, guys, sub to our channel. Thank you. Sub.
And it's free. You don't have to pay. Yeah, so let's just start right into it. We start with MVP Kenny King and Bobby Lashley. They come down to the ring. I had it right here. Darn it, I lost my spot. MVP states that he's with the TNA World Champion, and then he will be he said he's here with the TNA World Champion, and also the guy who will be at Bellator this week or this Friday in a match. And at Bellator, they were kind of hyping up this Bellator program, I guess you want to say, or match, or is it a pay-per-view or pay-per-view? It's just a Bellator stream.
It's on TV this week.
Yeah, it's on Impact. I'm sorry, it's on Friday on Spike TV if you're interested in watching.
I bet they don't promote Impact at all during that show too.
Yeah, true. He said he will. He said he's the TNA champion and will be the Bellator champion. So apparently, it is a title match that Bobby Lashley is going to be having. He told the crowd or the fans, if you want to say that, if we don't like it, that we have to deal with it. Basically said Bobby Lashley is the toughest man on the planet, and that nobody can match him or compete with him, which then led to Samoa Joe coming down to the ring and pretty much laying down the challenge to Bobby Lashley for a match. He said you don't need the titles, you can put those aside, just a one-on-one match. And then they all ended up attacking Samoa Joe and pretty much booked the match for them tonight, which was the main event, Samoa Joe versus Bobby Lashley. Let me see if I can get some of what he wrote. I had it written down. I just lost my spot.
You know, if they were smart, that they would have, like, Dixie Carter and possibly MVP and a few other wrestlers there ringside at Bellator during the fight with Bobby Lashley there.
Yeah. Okay, I got what. Joe turned to MVP and said he's impressed that he can be a hype man. He sings the praises of the champion. Lashley went through a lot of competition. However, MVP is trying to pass Lashley off as the toughest man in the city. MVP interrupted and said, "Planet." He said, "I said planet." Joe said he isn't the toughest man on the planet in the city or in the ring right now. Joe wants to make this simple. He says they should take the belts and put them aside and fight. That's when Kenny King gets on the mic and says he shouldn't challenge Lashley because he won't be able to win. Joe hits King right in the face, and then that's when all of them ended up attacking him. The security ended up pulling them apart, and yeah, that pretty much got our match booked for later on tonight between Bobby Lashley and Samoa Joe. What did you think about the whole thing? Did you enjoy it?
I hate it. I mean, I was really hoping that we would get to see Bobby Lashley and Joe, like, title for title, but maybe we'll get it eventually, but I think that'd be a cool match.
Well, we would have to wait until next year, but it wasn't bad. You know, they have they have Bobby Lashley, the silent guy. MVP is his talker, so like the WWE with Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Yeah, it was a solid opening segment. Nothing too bad about it. Next we had Taryn Terrell versus Gail Kim for the Knockouts Championship. What did you think of this match, Dave?
I have a problem in the match. Okay, wrestling, I said this on Twitter too, at Wrestling 101 Pod, follow. I said this on Twitter, like I said, wrestling isn't just about some big spots or some big bumps. It's about telling a story in the ring. Yeah, there were some pretty good bumps in this match. I mean, the neck breaker on the steel steps. I mean, there was a couple of good, but that's all it was, is maybe 2 or 3 big spots, and then a finisher, match over. That's pretty much all it was. And Taryn Terrell, please stop using your weak-ass version of the RKO.
Yeah, she does it so sloppy. Like, she doesn't know how to do it.
That's my biggest problem with it. Wrestling isn't about spots. It's about telling a story in the ring, and they didn't really tell that good of a story.
All right. Yes, Gail Kim is a great wrestler. I'm not going to deny that at all. But she pretty much carries Tara in the matches. And if I don't think, in my opinion, if Taryn wasn't in a match where, gimmicks were involved, I don't think it would be a good match. And I think that's why they enforced the little neck breaker on the steel steps. They have those false finishes because they know that the crowd's going to go wild for them. I mean, yes, the neck breaker on the steps was a pretty cool spot, but it seems like that's what they have to do in order to have a great match or to get the crowd going. I mean, other than that, it was just your simple, regular match Gail Kim got over.
They didn't even go that long. Maybe, 6 minutes long, if that. I mean, the match was really short, and that's another problem I have, that they're not giving these guys and the girls that much time to go in the ring. And
yeah,
they should.
They seemed a little bit rushed tonight, but I'm not going to say it was a horrible match because it wasn't.
It was a good match, but it could have been so much better if they were given more time.
And the crowd chanting better than the Divas, we already know that. You're not telling us something that we haven't said before.
No, I honestly, right now, I don't agree. I think the WE Divas right now are better than the TNA Knockouts. And I've said before, I think TNA Knockouts are well above and better than the WE. But, I mean, AJ Lee and Paige are probably 2 of the best right now in wrestling right now going on. They're better than Taryn and Gail Kim by far.
I can see that. I'm not a big Taryn Terrell fan, so I see
anybody in TNA besides Gail Kim that is better than any of those 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Gail Kim is great. Yeah, she's a great wrestler. I mean, Angela Love, she's okay. Velvet Sky, not great in the ring. Who else is there? Madison Rayne. She hasn't had a good match in months, years even.
I don't care for any of those. I mean, I'm just not a big fan of the knockouts. That's all.
Mickie James and Tara were their 2 best knockouts they've had there when they were there at that time. Those were the 2 best they had.
Maybe you could throw an ODB. She was all right.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Mickie James and Tara, they were the 2 when they had those 2 had good matches together. Even Katie Lee, she wasn't bad either, or Winter, as you well know, in TNA.
Yeah, it seems like they kind of lost a lot of the wrestlers that they were good at. Well, a lot of the knockouts that were good, they kind of left already. That's when we saw the premiere of Havoc, a female wrestler. I guess she's probably from the Indies and finally got the call up from TNA. She had 0 reaction. Enough 0 reaction to where TNA had to pipe in boos. She ends up taking out Taryn Terrell and Gail Kim, so I'm looking like she's the monster of the Knockouts division now. She's kind of wearing like this Bane-looking mask or something, and then she
cooler. She would have kept the mask on, I think.
Yeah, it was an alright debut. Nobody knew who the hell she was, and she had no reaction. Even after she did everything to the wrestlers, there was no reaction. You hear booing, but the crowd's mouth's not moving. So obviously TNA was piping in boos. So.
And you can establish that to it, no one knowing or caring, or how many days are they into this New York taping by this point? So how many shows has this crowd been through? So we don't know. So it just kind of gets kind of like it was in Orlando, where it's like nothing, where they just don't.
Yeah, the crowd might just have been exhausted and been like,
This could have. before or after a Hardys and them and Dudleys and Wolves match. I don't know how they put this in there. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, Havoc shows up, takes out Taryn and Gail. So I guess we'll find out more next week on where she lies and who's her manager or who she allies with or whatever now. But it was an alright debut, I guess. Backstage, it shows MVP backstage with Eric Young. MVP talks about EY's match tonight and how Bobby Roode treated him horribly long time ago, from carrying his bags to almost getting him fired. Eric Young doesn't want to listen to MVP, mind games, and walks away, which then led up.
Entertaining stuff, though. I mean, not that, but the whole stuff with Eric and Bobby Roode back in the day. I mean, that was some funny stuff they do at Team Canada.
See, I didn't watch TNA back then, so I would not know what they were talking about. But it was good that they had some kind of history to go back on. I think that was pretty. I'm gonna skip the Robbie E, Jesse, and DJ stuff, the Tinder shit. I don't want to even talk about that.
What's going on with that? I mean, I don't get it. Why is it on the show?
I don't know if they're sponsored by them or what, but it just gets annoying. Next we had Ethan Carter III with Rockstar Spud come out. Ethan gets in the ring, grabs the mic. Ethan says he is sick of everyone from the people in Manhattan Center to every man, woman, and child in the back who get excited about Dixie Carter going through a table. They are cheering for someone who got their back broken from a lunatic. Ethan says that the Carter charity ends. The first person is Rhino. He gave him a beating, and more for what he could accomplish. He couldn't accomplish, I'm sorry. He then states he has demands. He asks for Spud for the paper, but Spud doesn't have it. Ethan says he wants Bully Ray terminated.
That's going to happen.
He then says hardcore and extreme can't be used in TNA as we shouldn't live in the past anymore. Thank you.
I do.
He then demands respect and says he doesn't want to hear "you can't wrestle" anymore. The fans start chanting it, of course. What else?
He even said he's the best wrestler in the business today, and enter in CM Punk chants.
Yeah, he said he would love to beat him.
To that, yeah.
Yeah, he would love to beat him too. That was nice. I like that, Ethan Carter. High five.
Ethan Carter, man. I mean, he was just great tonight. I mean, his mic skills, his promo was awesome tonight.
Yeah. Rhino does end up getting involved. He gets into the ring, pretty much. Tosses him out in the ring, then tosses Spud out of the ring, and then goes after Ethan. Ethan and Spud go to the ramp. Rhino gets on the mic and says he wants Ethan so he can beat him up. I mean, this promo by Rhino was garbage. I mean, just keep Rhino off the microphone, please.
I mean, keep Ethan on it. I mean, the more he is on TV talking, no one in TNA right now plays more to the crowd and gets more of a reaction right now than Ethan Carter does.
Right. I agree.
Whatever it is that Jim Ross was always talking about for wrestlers, they just have it or you don't have it. Ethan Carter has it. The it factor, what they're always talking about. W kicking themselves so bad for even letting this guy go right now. Look how big he is shining in TNA right now.
I mean, if there's maybe one thing to possibly maybe say something about him is possibly that his mic skills, not mic skills, I'm sorry, his in-ring skills can do a little bit more work on. But
I don't think he's a bad performer in the ring, though.
I don't think so either. I think he's a good wrestler. I think he could be better. I mean, all wrestlers can be better.
Yeah, he could be better, yeah. But, I mean, he hasn't been given a really true opponent, really, yet. Rhino isn't a true opponent. He needs to have, like, a feud with, like, an Austin Aries or something like that to really define his character and his wrestler, the wrestler he's going to become, because once he finally has, or even with a Bobby Roode or an Eric Young, you know, maybe that's a possible feud to start him with Eric Young or something, because that would be a great feud as well.
Eric Young, yeah, that'd be interesting. he ends up putting Spud in the match with Spud against Rhino.
Another shining star in TNA. These two are great together. They feed off each other so well, and Spud is so entertaining.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
I mean, those are some of the reasons I even watch TNA right now, just to see EC3 and Spud, because those guys are freaking hilarious, and that's what you're missing. That's what entertainment was from, like, not compare it to the Attitude Era, but kind of when you see, like, DX would come out and they would do these little skits. Like, we got to relive that this week on the WWE Network. But, I mean, that kind of reminds that, comparing them to DX, but just the skits, you'd enjoy them coming out because they're going to do something funny.
Right. Yeah, I agree. But let's just move on. Next, we had backstage segment with Gunner and Samuel Shaw.
And the hottie checking him out, which I assume was one of James Storm's followers.
Brittany is twirling her hair, staring at Shaw in the background. Of course, Shaw doesn't. Gunner walks in the picture and sees Brittany, and then comes and talks to Shaw. He brings up last week, but says he wants to forget about it. It's from the past. They are teaming up tonight. They shake hands and both walk away, which then led to our tag team match of the night, which was Gunner, Samuel Shaw versus Bram and Magnus.
I am surprised. I thought it was going to be Ken Anderson and somebody. Honestly, I did.
Yeah, I thought Ken Anderson was definitely going to be involved.
I was like, oh, wait, Ken Anderson and who? Oh, okay.
But, I mean, I actually enjoy Bram. I don't mind him. But I absolutely hate Gunner, man. I just do not like the guy.
He's getting on my nerves, too. I kind of hope Samuel Shaw does go with James Storm out, just to get Gunner off. There's going to be Gunner and them. But that was she's a wrestler, that girl who was checking him out?
Yeah, it's that Brittany chick.
Oh, I didn't know. I ain't no clue. Yeah. I know she looked good, whoever she was.
Yeah, it gets annoying after a while to see this. I don't. Nobody cares for this shit. I mean, nobody wants to see this. But yeah, it was an alright tag match. Bram and Magnus get the win. Any other thoughts about that match? Did you enjoy it?
I didn't really care about it. I can care less about the match. I mean, I'm starting not to like Gunner either. I mean, him and James Storm had that feud, which is okay, and it was just like, okay. For some reason, Samuel Shaw has some kind of man crush on Gunner for some reason. I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going with this. It could go anywhere. I think it was alright.
I think they're gonna go because James Storm has been tweeting at Samuel Shaw, and I think they're going that route. He's gonna join them.
Yeah. So Bram and Magnus pick up the win. This is your decent tag team match. Not sure what this leads up to for Bram and Magnus. Obviously, no tag team title shot anytime soon, but we will see. We get another backstage segment with MVP as he walks up to Bobby Roode. Roode asks if he wants to fight. MVP doesn't, but asks if Roode thinks he has this. If he thinks Eric Young will play by the rules. Roode has no idea what he is talking about. MVP says he made Eric Young carry his bags. Roode states it was a long time ago, but MVP doesn't think that matters, and he walks away. So pretty much MVP was just trying to stir the pot, get something going. Yep. I guess it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. But it was interesting to see what he was trying to do, and it didn't lead up to anything. So I don't know why he did it. Maybe to try to show that they had a big bond together or something, but it didn't do anything.
They should have had, if anything, which I don't want to get too much into that match right this second, but they should have had Eric Young do a heel turn or something.
Well, that match is next, so let's just talk about it. The next match was the #1 contendership match for the TNA World Championship, Eric Young versus Bobby Roode. Really good match. Really good match.
Would have
Kind
given
of
it more though.
kind of slow pace at the start, but then it picked up near the end. Good match. Roode picks up the victory over Eric Young. They ended up shaking hands, I believe, at the end of the match. Um, you have some things you want to say about this match? Go ahead.
It was a good match. I wish it would have went longer, but it was a good match. I mean, it would have been nice if you would have sent some type of swerve, but it was nice just to see a straight up clean match. And TNA possibly, I don't know this for sure, possibly just getting back to what the sport is, and it's pro wrestling. Get back to just having good wrestling matches. Your show is on the verge of being canceled in 4 months, so you might really want to try to get wrestling fans actually to tune in and watch some good wrestling matches. That's what Ring of Honor is. Become more like Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give TNA credit. This is already pre-recorded shows, of course. But since Dixie Carter has not been on TV, I mean, the talking has died down. I'll give them that. I mean, we used to see Dixie at the beginning of TNA, in the middle of TNA, and at the end of TNA. Now we're just getting, some talking here and then we get wrestling.
Yeah, that's what we want. I mean, WE, same thing. I mean, we get a lot of talking from them, too. It's not just saying just TNA does this. WE does it, too, but they have more of the money and more everything. They can do what they want. TNA is on the verge of likely being canceled on December 31st, being their last show.
Yeah, and I'm going to be Dave and I both agree. Tonight's Impact was better than Raw. Raw sucked. A lot of talking, not too much wrestling, and then, the whole thing of Raw sucked. Tonight, Impact was really good. I agree. It was really good. I didn't really care for, maybe one or two matches, but I thought Impact was really solid tonight. Definitely better than last week's. But yeah, Bobby Roode picks up the win. He's your new #1 contender. They didn't really state when he was going to have the match between him and Lashley, so maybe the next TV pay-per-view they're going to have, possibly.
Yeah, Austin Aries did tweet out that this weekend they're taping 2 pay-per-views or whatever it is for TV. So
Yeah, I don't get that. See, and then here's my other thing with TNA, and we'll get this on our next episode of Wrestling Talk Sunday, whenever that is. They're already starting to tape at house shows the results of Bound for Glory. That is just so stupid. I don't understand why they're doing that. I guess they need to save money, but geez, really? You know how easy that can get spoiled before Bound for Glory actually happens? That's my thing. Oh, we got a new subscriber. Thank you. I think his name is Hamad. Thank you very much for now. We got a new subscriber. I appreciate that. That's the only thing. That's my little tidbit, if you want to say.
So are they going to start taping shows at house shows and just airing them for Impact then?
I think so.
I mean, it's smart, I guess, in a way too, because then you're saving money and plus you're making money off what you're taping.
Well, I think they're hoping that these house shows that are branded no surrender or whatever,
Yeah.
that they're hoping people will come and watch. I saw they're having 3 house shows in North Carolina, and then I think it has the Hardys to be on. So it's just to get more people to go to it, because if they don't advertise like that, nobody's gonna show up. Not nobody, but as many as they would like to show up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If they were smart, they would take their biggest star in TNA right now and make him the world champion. And if you can give it between 2 guys. I think Bully Ray is a big star, a face right now. Or you could even take Jeff Hardy, which is probably the biggest star TNA has. He should be your world champion. You're focusing on building the company around, keeping it around right now. That's what they should be doing, but they're not.
Okay, here's my thing. So you think Bobby Lashley is only the champion because of this Bellator thing?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they're not. He's gonna lose it possibly to Bobby Roode at whenever, or if he doesn't lose to Bobby Roode, make no sense. Because Bobby Lashley, to me, he's a good champion right now, but how long is he gonna be there? If they do leave the network, you think when he's still with Bellator, he's still going to be with TNA too? I doubt that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bellator is going to say, "Oh no, you can't do that no more."
So does Lashley walk out on the Bellator to the Bellator ring wearing any TNA apparel?
That would be interesting. That's I might check it out just to see if he does show up. But if any TNA people are there, I mean,
You would
if they
have
were
to assume TNA people would be there. If it's MVP Kenny King.
wrestlers be there and supporting. Dixie Carter should be there, but if she's gonna keep selling this back injury, she probably won't be. That'll be one thing they could do, I guess. But that's what they should have, like wrestlers. You know how you have WE guys all the time showing up at UFC events, city legends, everybody sitting there watching the show.
Right.
So that's what they should do, but we'll see. If he walks out with a TNA belt or even an Impact T-shirt on, I would be shocked.
He should come out with an Impact shirt or some kind of thing with TNA.
Or he should come out with a title where it just says TNA right on in the middle of it. That's what he should do.
If he came out, here's my thing. If he came out with TNA with the belt on, one, that's pretty big because that means that belt actually means something to him. Two, that is major promotion right there. You're promoting a company that doesn't get promoted very much as it is, and you're giving them free promotions right there. I would expect to see Kenny King or
You would think that the commentators at Bellator would announce he's currently the TNA Impact Wrestling World Champion. Do you think they would at least say that? And say, this is the TNA World Champion looking to be a Bellator champion, have 2 belts. So if he does it, if it is a title fight, which if people who watch it know, and let us know if it's a title fight or not. If it is and he wins, which we wouldn't see it for freaking weeks and weeks, but it would be so cool to see him show up on Impact with the Bellator title and a TNA title.
Yeah. So I guess we just got to wait and see. They showed Jeremy Borash in Backstage with Team 3D. He says that they won their match last week. What match will they pick? And the next match is a tables match.
What
Billy Ray
choose?
Billy Ray. I'm sorry?
So what other match would they choose? A lumberjack match?
Yeah, really. Billy Ray gets on the mic and said there is no other match they will pick other than the tables match. He says that the tag team division is back on the map. There's only 3 tag teams right now in TNA. Legit tag teams, that is.
They're bringing tag team wrestling back or whatever like that, and everyone's talking about TNA tag team division. Like, I'm sorry, the WE's tag division right now is better than TNA. Granted, you have the 3 biggest, or at least 2 of the biggest tag teams in wrestling, period, right now in TNA. So I'll give you that. They do have the 2 biggest names of tag teams. But just the division itself, WE by far has a better tag team division than TNA.
I agree. The Hardys, the Wolves, they are going to set it on fire. They'll only need 1 more win to become TNA Tag Team Champions. They will be champions, and when they go into the TNA Hall of Fame.
How are they going to go in the Hall of Fame when they're not there?
Yeah, we'll see about that. Next, we had the X Division #1 contender match between Crazy Steve, Tigre Uno, DJ Z, Homicide, Manic, and Low Key. This match was kind of underwhelming a little bit. I thought it was going to be better.
Glad they did it like this because we really didn't like, or I personally didn't like how they did the tag match a few weeks ago or a week ago, where it was just a regular tag match. I was like, why wasn't it a match for like a title shot like tonight was? And I enjoyed who won the match because I don't mind. We'll say like Homicide ended up picking up the win. And I actually don't mind that. You have 2 TNA originals who are going to have a match for the X Division title, which I like that.
Yeah, it should be a good match. We had a comment saying, in my point of view, TNA is better than WWE since July. Bobby will come out with the TNA belt because they sponsor MMA on Impact. I mean, we can agree and disagree on...
You know what they say.
Go ahead, Dave.
Okay, you know what they say. Everyone has an opinion.
Yeah, and we may not agree with you, you may think TNA is better than WWE right now, and I mean, you may have 100%, your opinions why. And I mean, like I said, tonight's Impact was really good, way better than Raw. But I disagree.
I totally disagree. Okay, I'm sorry. Dude, what kind of Kool-Aid are you drinking? I mean, TNA has been garbage for so long. Dixie Carter, Magnus. Oh, we're going to have ours and be the champion. By screwing... What they did to AJ Styles was garbage, giving him his last match and just have 50 guys beat him. I mean, you had the guy who built TNA. You should have sent him out on a great title match. Instead, you send him out like that. Hulk Hogan, I'm not sure if you said the last summer, when Hulk Hogan left, Dixie Carter was crawling on his knees after him when he left. That looks so, made you look so pathetic.
Yeah, it's all right. If you want to say maybe TNA's wrestling has been better, sure. I mean, we can debate on that all day. But right now, granted Dean Ambrose isn't there right now. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins is the hottest storyline in wrestling right now. And, nobody in wrestling can wait till he comes back. So, I mean, I'm going to have to, I kindly disagree. I mean, I really appreciate you commenting, and I hope you do keep commenting on our videos, and really appreciate you subscribing, because TNA fans are our most viewed fans on our channel. But since July, I would have to disagree. TNA has kind of been in the downfall for almost half a year now, almost a year.
Money in the Bank, great pay-per-view.
If you said that maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, I would probably say, maybe you got a point there.
Yeah, because last year the WWE was killing us with those freaking unification matches. I mean, TNA hasn't really. Last year at this time, what? Chris Sabin was the world champion for a minute, and then he lost back to Bully Ray, and Aces and H-Crap wouldn't stop. It went on for like 10 years.
Yeah, so, we appreciate the comment. Please leave more. And thank you very much for subscribing. Really appreciate that. Next, we're talking about the X Division match. He said, and we told you all Homicide wins. He'll be facing Samoa Joe on a later date. We both like it. We both know it's going to be a good match. So we'll move on to the main event of the evening.
We kind of got to mention this, even though we probably don't want to. James Storm came out and they kicked Manic.
Oh, yeah, I missed two things, actually. Yeah. James Storm comes out and pretty much takes Manic, so he's going to probably be the new guy underneath James' new revolution, whatever the hell you want to call it. Then Austin Aries comes out to the ring and cuts a promo on James Storm and the Great Sonata, which leads them to come out to the ring and attack Aries, and guess who comes to make the save? Tajiri. I didn't even recognize him. I thought that was the Great Muta at first. But I guess it's nice to see Tajiri back. I'm not a big old mark over him, so.
That was the only big deal. I was like, oh, Tajiri, cool. When I think of Tajiri, I think of Tajiri and William Regal and Tori Wilson. That's Tajiri, and a little bit of ECW, but mostly from the Attitude Era when he was teamed with William Regal. I think of that a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Looks like we may see a tag match between these four people, maybe at Bound for Glory, maybe.
Bound for Glory, I don't know if it's true or not. I heard it's supposed to be James Storm and the Great Sonata versus the Great Muta and Tajiri.
Okay, I can see that happening. I guess we'll see what happens between them. We also had the Rockstar Spud get squashed by a Rhino match. And, yeah, that is it for that. But let's get to this main event between Bobby Lashley and Samoa Joe, which I did not have a problem with it until the end of the match. What did you think of the match, Dave?
I thought the match was good. I enjoyed it. Like, people said on Twitter, mostly people from TNA, so they wouldn't mind seeing a rematch, and I wouldn't mind either. It was two big guys. I can't believe Joe did that, but when he caught Lashley up in the air and just threw him down outside, like, dang, that was pretty good. I can't believe he did. But they had a good physical match, which that's what you want to see, two big guys just beating the crap out of each other. But like you said, we did have a little interference. I don't really think it messed up the match, really, because Joe kind of got rid of him. And then,
see, here's the thing. You want to make Bobby Lashley looked like this unstoppable, incredible beast.
Yeah, but you also don't want to make Joe look like he's just going to get destroyed by Bobby Lashley. You want to have it where, like, okay, he can help to beat Joe.
But I thought until that point, Bobby Lashley held his own. If you're maybe possibly starting up a new feud, maybe with Samoa Joe and Kenny King, then yeah, I could see. I understand. But they have built Lashley since he's won the title, that he's this unstoppable force, the baddest man on the planet. Nobody can beat him. And then
nobody can beat him. Yeah, until almost tonight.
And then he gets help to win. That's my thing. And it was still a good match. Even if Samoa Joe lost with no interference, he still looked good. The loss wouldn't have hurt Samoa Joe, and it didn't tonight. But I just didn't care for how it ended. You don't need to get Kenny King involved. You can still have Bobby Lashley catch Samoa Joe with a spear out of nowhere, catch him slipping. But like you said, it was a really good match, and I do hope we maybe see a rematch between these two guys. I think that would be really good.
I mean, it was good. I mean, good show tonight. A lot more focused on wrestling, which I hope it continues next week, which they did announce some stuff for next week.
Yes, next week we'll have the triple tag team match for in a tables match. What else matches did they announce, Dave? I must have missed it.
They only announced that, and they announced, was it Chris Mendez?
Oh, Chris Melendez will be debuting in a match next week. The Wounded Warrior, the amputee guy we were talking about last week in the video. He will be wrestling for the first time. If you guys are interested in checking that out. But yeah, that's pretty much ends the Impact review. It was a pretty good Impact, solid wrestling.
Hopefully, it gets a better rating this week.
Yeah, that's gonna be the huge thing, because next week starts football and.
Well, there's not going to affect them, though, because now that this is good for TNA, because they did actually promote Impact on Wednesdays on the show instead of not even mentioning it hardly. Yeah. So they did kind of do that a little better, which I think these are just voiceovers anyway with Mike Tenay and Taz. They just go back and voiced over it or whatever.
Definitely. But, yeah, solid Impact tonight. We're not really 100% sure if we're going to do a Wrestling Talk Sunday episode.
So probably not.
Yeah, this coming Sunday, returning of football, everything. So we probably will be skipping this Sunday. There's not much news anyways going around this week. But we will be definitely picking them up probably maybe next week or the week after because of our new schedule. Like we said, we're probably going to only do Wrestling Talk Sundays once a month now. So we really appreciate it. And our views on our last Wrestling Talk was really, really good. I was really impressed. And we really appreciate everybody tuning in on the Bully Ray TNA whole talk about that. But yeah, we will be back for next Monday's Raw. Hopefully it's be a better Raw. It's going to be it's supposed to be a huge Raw. Monday Night Football coming back, so it should be an interesting Raw. And then we'll be back again on Wednesday for Impact Review. And, that's it until we get our new schedule going. Any thoughts or anything you would like to say, Dave, before we sign out?
Yeah, just in case people didn't know, on October 2nd, SmackDown is moving to Thursdays, so we want to do our job trying to promote. We're going to start doing possibly, we'll see how our first show goes, but possibly we're going to start doing Thursday Night SmackDown reviews every week as after October 2nd.
Yes.
Next Thursday, we're going to do a TakeOver review next Thursday.
Oh, that's correct. Next week we will be doing NXT TakeOver. They already announced the main event, which was Sami Zayn, Tyson Kidd, Neville, and what's the other dude's name?
Tyler Breeze.
Yeah, Tyler Breeze. Breeze for the title. So that's going to be a damn good match. So I would definitely tune in for that.
Bayley versus Charlotte. And the winner of this tournament, I think it happens tomorrow night, I believe. We're going to do the winner of this tag tournament is going to face the Ascension.
Okay. So yeah, it should be a pretty good NXT, I guess you want to say pay-per-view or takeover show. So it should be really good, but we will definitely be back next week reviewing that. So look for us on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week when we're doing an Impact review, our NXT takeover review, and also, of course, as always, the Monday Night Raw review. Looks like Michael Sam won't be showing up because he was recently signed by Dallas Cowboys. So he will not be showing
Jerry Springer to Raw now to do the Bella Finn Twins thing. And I guess to SmackDown, I almost said tomorrow night, but Friday night was announced John Cena is going to be on there. And I believe even Stephanie McMahon is supposed to be on SmackDown, I believe.
Wow. So it might be a little bit of a huge show.
Oh, plus, we got football on Thursday night. I guess that doesn't really affect it, so I guess it wouldn't matter. But yeah.
Not yet, that is. Not yet. But yeah, that's going to pretty much end our video tonight. We will be back again next Monday for our Monday Night Raw review. Oh, if any guys here on this channel are subscribers or football fans, we will be doing an NFL Pick'em show every week starting tomorrow. We will be picking 5 games each week. We did this last year as well, and Dave ended up being the winner. We're substituting Josh because he's just way too busy right now with life. So we're going to substitute Josh with our buddy Justin. He will not be on camera, but we will get his results every week on the 5 games that we will be doing.
More likely to be doing like the 3 primetime games and then maybe 2 afternoon Sunday games.
Yes. So just look for that if you're interested, and you can play along as well. Right now, we'll be doing the Seahawks and Packers game tomorrow. So we'll probably have a video up tomorrow. It'll be a quick one, probably 5-10 minute video of just our picks starting tomorrow. So hopefully everybody can join us on that. Thanks for the new subscribers tonight and the views tonight. We really appreciate it. And we'll be back this coming Monday with another Raw review. And let's all hope and pray that Monday Night Raw is another shitty one like it was last week.
It should be good. I mean, we got a cage match, Roman Reigns and Orton. I mean, should be good. Monday Night Football too. So yeah, 2 games on Monday night.
Yeah, so next week's looking like a good week of wrestling. So we will. Are you sure Takeover is next week? Are you 100% sure on that? Okay. All right. Well, yeah, we'll be back.
Today's the 3rd. Yeah, so next September 11th, I believe it is.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be back next week with 3 shows, or actually 4 shows if you want to count our NFL Pick'em show. We will be back with our Monday Night Raw review, Wednesday Night Impact review, and Thursday Takeover NXT review. So thank you everybody for watching tonight. Please subscribe. If you have any comments down below, you know where to put them. And please like or dislike our channel. Any publicity, anything, any opinions you guys have, we take in and try to make our show better. Any last things, Dave, before we sign out?
Subscribe, and we will see you guys, some of you guys, tomorrow for our Pick'em show.
Yep. If not, we will see you Monday night for our Monday Night Raw review. We're going to probably be switching the times up a little bit, probably starting at 11:30, 11:45 Eastern. So look for us more about that time. But yeah, everybody have a great one, and enjoy your week and your weekend coming up, and we'll see you guys on Monday.